When you're flying into Hanoi, your first challenge is navigating the arrival process at Noi Bai Airport. While the airport itself is modern, there are some essential steps, especially concerning the visa, that you need to get right to avoid any problems at the start of your trip. This guide will give you a complete walkthrough of everything you'll face from the moment you step off the plane to when you're in a car heading to your hotel. We'll cover how to correctly apply for your e-visa, what to expect at the immigration counter, the best way to get cash and a local SIM card, and how to safely get a ride into the city. With this guide, your arrival in Vietnam will be simple and straightforward. Let's get into it. Before we even talk about immigration or baggage claim, the main document you need to sort out is your Vietnamese visa. For most travelers, the best way to do this is by applying for an electronic visa before your trip. As of 2025, Vietnam offers a 90-day single-entry electronic visa that costs around $25. While there is also a multiple entry option for about $50, we'll be focusing on the single entry process in this guide, as it's the most common choice for tourists. Just make sure you only use the official government website, which I'll have linked down below in the description. This is important to avoid third-party sites that look official but will charge you extra fees. The entire application is done online, so let me explain the steps. First, you'll need to upload a digital copy of your passport's data page and a separate passport-style photo of yourself against a plain white background. Then, you'll fill out your personal information. Make sure this matches your passport perfectly, including your full name, date of birth, and passport details. After that, you'll provide your intended travel dates. Now, a really important part. You have to specify your intended port of entry and port of exit. The port of entry is not flexible. If you say you're entering through Noi Bai Airport in Hanoi, but show up at a different airport, your entry could be denied. The port of exit, however, is much more flexible. You should select the airport you think you'll leave from, but in my experience, my plans changed and I left from a completely different airport than the one I listed on my application, and I had zero problems. So be precise with your entry point, but don't worry too much about the exit one. After you fill everything out and pay the fee, you'll get a confirmation email with a registration code. It usually takes 3 to 5 business days for approval, but I'd recommend applying at least 2 weeks in advance. Once it's approved, you'll use your code on the website to download your e-visa PDF. You absolutely must print a physical copy of this e-visa to present at immigration. They will not accept a digital version on your phone. So, after you get off the plane at Noi Bai, the process is quite simple. All international flights arrive at Terminal 2. Once you leave the gate, you'll just follow the signs for immigration. The terminal is modern and well-signed in both Vietnamese and English, so it's very easy to navigate. You won't need to take any trains or buses. Everything is in one building, and it's just a short walk from your gate to the immigration hall. Once you arrive at the large immigration hall, you'll see lines for foreign passport holders. Just get in one of those lines and have your documents ready. Vietnam doesn't have e-gates for tourists yet, so everyone has to go to a manned counter to speak with an officer. When it's your turn, you'll need to hand over your passport and that printed copy of your e-visa. The officer will scan your visa, check your passport, and might take a photo of you. Generally, as long as your e-visa is correct and your documents are in order, they don't tend to ask many questions. Alright, so once you're officially stamped into the country, you can start thinking about the next steps of your trip. And this is actually a good time to talk about something I consider essential for my travels: having reliable insurance. Things can be unpredictable on the road, whether it's dealing with a flight delay, lost luggage, or needing to see a doctor for something minor. That's why I'm happy to have Safety Wing as a partner here on the channel. They're a company I've personally been using for a while now, and after looking at different options, I found their plan was the best for my needs as a long-term traveler. What I really like is its flexibility. It's great for any kind of trip. You can get coverage for a specific short period, like a 5-day vacation. But since my travels are usually longer, the main feature for me is how well it works for extended journeys. It can operate on a subscription that automatically renews every 4 weeks, and you can start it even if you're already traveling. It covers medical emergencies, trip interruptions, and even lost checked luggage in over 180 countries. That flexibility is what gives me peace of mind to focus on enjoying the trip without worrying about the what-ifs. So if you want to travel a bit safer and see if it's the right fit for your trip too, you can scan the QR code that's on the screen right now, or click the link I've put in the description below to get all the details and get covered. After you clear immigration, it's time to pick up your bags. The baggage carousels are located right past the immigration hall. Just check the overhead screens for your flight number to find the correct belt and go grab your luggage. Once you have your bags, you'll head towards the exit. From there, you just follow the signs and you'll walk out into the main arrivals hall. Once you're in the arrivals hall, there are two things to take care of before heading to the city: getting local currency and a SIM card. For cash, you'll see a row of ATMs and currency exchange counters right as you exit. Using an ATM will almost always give you a better rate. However, a big thing to know about Vietnam is that most ATMs have a very low withdrawal limit, and they all charge a fee. This means you might have to make several withdrawals. The fees can vary a lot between banks, so to save money, I'd recommend using an app called ATM Fee Saver. It tracks crowdsourced data on ATM fees, so you can find a machine nearby that is charging the least. Next, for internet access, you'll see several kiosks selling SIM cards. Viettel is the provider I went with, and it's often recommended as it has the best coverage across the country. There are many different plans, and I got one for 150,000 dong that was supposed to last for 30 days. One thing you need to be very careful about in Vietnam is that most plans are not unlimited, even if the seller tells you they are. Many plans have a daily data limit. For example, a 180 gigabyte plan might actually be 6 gigabytes per day for 30 days. If you use up your daily limit, the internet can get extremely slow or stop working, so always double check the daily limit. You can also buy a SIM card outside the airport, which can be a bit cheaper. However, if you choose to do this, make sure you go to an official provider store. Vietnam requires SIM cards to be officially registered with your passport, and these stores will handle that process correctly. I would avoid buying from random street vendors, as they often sell unregistered SIMs that can get deactivated. That being said, I find it much more convenient to just buy the SIM card right at the airport when I arrive. Even though it costs a little more, it saves a lot of hassle. Now that you have internet access, and hopefully you've already downloaded ATM Fee Saver, it's the perfect time to get a few other essential apps for your trip. The first one you absolutely need is Grab. This is the main ride-hailing app in Southeast Asia. You can call a car, or for a faster and cheaper ride through city traffic, you can even book a motorbike taxi. Plus, its food delivery service, Grab Food, is perfect for ordering in after a long day of exploring. Another really important one is Zalo. This is the main messaging app in Vietnam, kind of like their version of WhatsApp. And finally, having Google Translate is a lifesaver. You can even download the Vietnamese language pack for offline use. With money, internet, and your new apps sorted, it's time to get into Hanoi. Your best and safest option is using Grab, which we just mentioned. But you have to be extremely careful right when you exit the airport. You will be swarmed by people claiming to be Grab drivers. This is a common scam at all airports in Vietnam. They will try to get you into their car for a much higher price, sometimes even trying to cancel the real Grab ride on your phone. They might also say you have too much luggage and need 2 cars to get double the fare. Ignore everyone who approaches you. The correct way to get your Grab is to open the app, book your ride, and look carefully at the license plate and driver's photo. Then, you'll need to cross the road to the second lane, which is the designated pickup area for ride-hailing services. Find your actual driver there, and ignore anyone else who tries to talk to you. As for other options, there is an airport bus, which is cheaper. But honestly, given the amount of hassle and scams with fake taxis right outside, I would avoid trying to figure out other transport and just stick to calling a Grab through the app. It's the most secure way to get to your hotel without any issues. And that's the full guide to arriving at Noi Bai Airport. Knowing these steps ahead of time, especially how to handle the e-visa and how to safely get a Grab, will make your arrival in Hanoi much smoother. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing to the channel. It helps the channel grow and keeps me motivated to keep bringing you more quality travel guides. And if you're thinking about getting travel insurance, the link for Safety Wing is in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.